Visions Artist Spotlight. Hey folks, so for more information on Dracula Visions, check out the SlampressTomes Facebook page, press the button on the top and add yourself onto our mailing list. We'll provide you up-to-date information on when we're launching the Kickstarter and some also behind-the-scene goodies. I am once again joined by Mr. Sam Noir. How are you?
Not too bad. And I know I've seen this trailer dozens of times now, and every now and then a few new names get added in. But just looking at that lineup, stellar lineup of creators, I still get excited.
Oh, me too. I'm so excited.
This is going to be amazing. And today's guest, I'm even more excited about. He's my studio mate, and I know I say this every time we have one of my collaborators on, but he is one of my favorite all-time collaborators just because of this project, which is hot off the presses, Ballyskillen. I'll let him get into it, but yeah, this is heading out to Kickstarter backers. Some backers have already reported that they've received it in the mail, and yeah, it's quite innovative and it's quite incredible what Andy has pulled off.
I can't wait to get mine. So, comic illustrator, writer, storyboard artist, animator, and sometimes backup dancer for the Lord of the Dance, Mr. Andy Dorland. How you doing?
Good, man. Nice intro. That's good. I wish I could be a backup dancer with Lord of the Dance. Amazing. That stuff's so hard.
Whatever happened to that? That was like the craziest, most popular thing for a while, and then
yeah, it's still. It was just still touring like a little while ago.
Is it?
Yeah, it was in Toronto.
Michael Flatley, right? Michael Flatley. Yeah. That's awesome.
Now he's going to be touring with his mask.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's only the bottom half that moves. The top half is just like still. So you're good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put up. I just sort of went on. So sorry, Andy. I just went on social media, grabbed a bunch of shots and some artist piece from you. So this might be some throwback stuff, but I figured I'd throw these up, and then that way people could get a good idea of the type of artist you are and your style.
For sure. Good.
And we will definitely be talking about Ballyskillen, right, Sam?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Can't wait to get into this one.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Excited to be on doing some Dracula stuff. I've always loved anything horror. Well, I wouldn't say anything. Mostly monster stuff. If it's monster horror, then I'm down. But if it's like hack and slash stuff, harder for me to get into it. But if monsters are involved, I'm there.
You like the creature features.
No,
remember this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a Sketchelmania special.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was the He-Man one. I love this piece.
Thanks. Yeah, there's just some quick little sketches for the Kickstarter stuff. I was doing all Irish mythology stuff every day. Just some people bought it, and I think some special people are getting some thrown into their packages as well. So,
And we're also using this as part of the Monster Manual augmented reality enhancement that you came up with too. Again, another insane innovation that
Oh yeah,
you
talk about
added
that.
to Ballyskillen.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I always love like they go with D&D monster manuals and stuff like that. So, actually, with the comic has an app just to explain to people that might not know. When you point the app at the comic book pages, the animations will play over top. So they're hand-drawn animations for the comic book that I did. But then in addition to that, on certain pages where different Irish mythology creatures are, there'll be a little button pops up and it'll say Monster Manual. And if you hit that, then it'll pop up with like the old school kind of D&D, kind of like a little paragraph with explanation of who the monster is and all that kind of stuff.
So
I love that idea.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Tell us a little bit about how your love of Irish mythology got started.
Sure. So it kind of goes back to, we have an old house here in Canada, but my great grandma had a bunch of Irish books because she's from Ireland, and so I grew up just reading in them all. They're all scattered around the house. Like it's old, well, old for here anyway, old for Canada standards. It's 1883. So, but they weren't organized. So like as a kid, I'd literally just be like crawling through some stuff, and you find this little book on whatever, and then I'd read that and like, oh, where did this come from? So just because as time went on, it kind of expanded my interests, and it's like a nice little treasure hunt. And then I had the opportunity to go live in Ireland for 2 years, just in the last 3 years ago or something like that. So then I got to dive even deeper, and I was just living in the countryside, and then actual like it looks straight up like a Hobbit house. Like it was a converted horse stable into a house, but it was like from an old estate. So there's like a courtyard in the middle, and all the moss is growing up over everything. Yeah, so I lived in there, and like I just had a wood stove, no heating, and different stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I got to kind of live the countryside life and imagine creatures running around.
And this is the actual scene from your window, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Amazing. And tell us a little more about that cottage/house that you would visit on occasions and during the summers, I guess. This is quite the haunted, I'm doing finger quotes, haunted house, wasn't it? In terms of all the cool stuff that was in it.
Oh, yeah. So my great, I don't know how many greats now. He was a, what's the word I'm looking for? He was a minister kind of traveling around. So went around the world and he collected all these artifacts. So it's kind of like Indiana Jones' house. There's like all this stuff from China and all these artifacts here and there and stuff. There's like a mummy hand that's in the house that I think he got off some grave robbers at some point and things like that. So there's lots of cool stuff there.
And quite a few of these sort of inspire your art and your comics, don't they? I think you have sort of an Egyptian mythology comic that you had done as well at one point.
Yeah. I have one of the scarabs. So yeah, pretty much all my creativity is just sucked from that house. That's the only. That's it. I'll run out of ideas after that.
But it's quite inspiring that you grew up in this fascinating. Well, you grew up visiting this fascinating locale, and it was such a source of inspiration. And you joined about a year ago, a little over a year ago. You joined Toronto's prestigious Royal Academy of Illustration and Design. How did you end up there, or here, I should say? Since we are here in Raid right now.
Yeah, I guess like years and years ago, I'd go back to there's a member here, Gibson Corder, and I met him once at a convention. I don't know what year. And then I knew about the studio in general. And then after that, I was coming back. My visa was coming up from Ireland, and I saw that there was openings. And before it was always kind of full, and then I was moving back to Toronto anyway, so it was all good timing. And bada boom, bada bing, it all worked out. So it was good.
Mhm.
And then
And-
just even at that point, I was doing a lot of, just so people don't know, I do a lot of storyboard work for animation and different stuff like that on top of comics. So yeah, at that point, I'm actually, if any art people are out there, it takes a while to build up a freelance career and different things like that. So things all just fell into place that at that point, my schedule was full as opposed to not.
Well, it feels like a lot of things fell into place in terms of you came to Toronto. You have this animation career where you do sort of storyboards and animatics, as well as this passion for Irish folklore. And on top of that, you actually had a pitch when you arrived here, didn't you? For what I guess would become Ballyskillen.
Yeah, so I had most of it written, and then if people don't know, Sam here is the writer of the comic, so you were nice enough to collab with me on it and get the script all kind of whipped into shape, and then we went from there. So it was good stuff.
Well, for me, it was kind of a funny experience because essentially we arrived, I think, within a couple of weeks of each other at Raid. We were both the new guys at Raid, which was actually kind of nice having sort of another new person here. But then the pandemic occurred and the whole studio pretty much emptied out. And at that point, in such a huge space, the two new guys were sort of left to their own devices, I guess. And how did we even begin collaborating?
Well, we did a little short first, and then probably hanging out. It was about even before you get into that too. I was gonna say, like, what's up on screen now too is the cover for number 2. So if anyone's a little sneak peek, flash over before.
Nice.
So, yeah, but yeah,
that's
sorry.
Gorgeous, man. I love it.
Thanks. Yeah, I think we just ordered some pizza.
And that short was sort of loosely based on Irish mythology as well. I think we were having some sort of conversation. Oh, I think I was working on another project involving leprechauns, which was more of a sort of kids project.
Yeah.
You just got talking, and then next thing you know, we've done this short again because we're kind of under lockdown and sort of went through our own devices in the studio space. And from there, I believe you presented me your original pitch document, right?
Yeah, and then you're able to go through. I had like old stuff that I already pitched out, and then kind of reworked the whole thing and remapped it. So a little behind the scenes stuff will be in there for anyone that gets the comic from the Kickstarter to get that kind of stuff. But even if you want to go back one image, I was just going to let people know too. So this page, if you hold the app to this page, it's a whole big animated sequence that has,
cool.
It's a whole secret. Well, not a secret, but you can read the comic. Like, it's fine. But if you hold it up to this, it starts animating, and that's the main character, Rory. He actually falls in through the mirror. It's a magic mirror that he doesn't know about. But it's only if you have the app, and then he'll fall into a different world. And then the character from the one shot that's connected to this comic, so they're in the same universe because he pops up and saves them, and then he falls back into the pub. So it's like a little Easter egg.
I love that. That's so great. Yeah, I can't wait to get mine.
And folks can even go to
it's packed underneath my feet.
It's
right
packed.
Now,
so. and folks can even go to ballyskillen.com and download the app and just try it out. In fact, I don't think we included this page, so if they wanted to sort of pause the screen, they can have a look at this amazing animation as well as some of the other samples. Yeah. And so how did, and again, we were simply working on a regular comic book. Essentially, what's the premise of Ballyskillen, if you want to let the folks know?
Sure. So it's a washed up bartender, I'd say. I always took a lot of inspiration from actual real people I met in Ireland. So if anyone's in Kilkenny and wants to go to the Tussle, it's a pub that Benji's the bartender. So it kind of reminds me of, kind of took the inspiration for the main character, but he's a washed up bartender. And one day a druid comes to his pub, and through some chance that you can see in the story, he loses his pub, and now he's kind of forced to work for the fairies that have a secret society, kind of secret world that's living underneath him. because of an enchantment, and now he's kind of has to be sent on missions and something to try to get his pub back. But of course, there's a secret killer that's running around, and children are disappearing from the town. So there's a big mystery aspect to the whole thing, and Rory's not too happy about this, but he's unwilling helper.
That's so good.
So
I love these. I love these shots of the pubs. So have you ever been in one?
No.
I think the real question is, when does he not live in them? Other than this past year, of course.
I'm just kidding. No, they're great. They're great. I want to visit this place that's on screen right now.
So you can. Well, funny you say that, because so I based this on those two. If you're ever in the town, there's Kilkenny County, but then there's Kilkenny the town, and if you're living there, if you're ever swinging by, there's the Tulsa. But then if you want a place that looks like this, there's a place called Clears that's just down the road. And then funny enough, just across from Clears, I went. They had they did a Dracula screening, and they redid the whole score to Bela Lugosi's Dracula. So
cool.
So there's a connection. So on one night, I was in Clears that looks exactly like this, that I based this pub on. And I walked across the road and watched a Dracula thing that was rescored by musicians. They played it live too. It was pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
And Andrew also built the pub in as a three-dimensional model as well.
Yeah, just in Blender. I was messing around with it. I didn't use it too much for these shots, but for some of the animations and stuff like that, I was able to use it.
Well, and that's actually what led you to turning this into an augmented reality animated project, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I just realized just through using Blender and then they have it's called Grease Pencil, but it's just the ability to draw in Blender. I actually ended up using various programs to do animation. I was kind of hopping around because the final product can be kind of tweaked here and there, but you can animate fully in Blender now with Grease Pencil. So some of the animations are like that, and then some I did in Harmony, and some I actually just animated straight up in Clip Studio. So if anyone's really big into animation, you can go through the app and try to guess what I used on what. I don't know how fun that would be, but.
In addition to this, you also built the main street of the little town this is set in with the Hidden Fairy community, almost like a Hollywood movie set, right? In Blender?
Yeah. So it's all propped up in 3D space, and it's pretty cool. I think dream down the road would be to be able to set up they call them portals, but be able to use your phone and then walk into the world and actually walk around Ballyskillen, but that might be a little ambitious. We'll see.
Well, this is you to a T. I'm constantly blown away at how ambitious you are, because Andrew, just to let the folks know, Andrew, having worked in animation, is really fast. I think you whipped off our original 8-page story within a matter of a couple of weeks or something like that. Pages would just appear day after day, and then suddenly they'd be colored, and then we had the full story ready to letter. And so on top of just doing a full 24-page comic, the fact that he's doing full animation for this project is really, really ambitious and really admirable, actually. I am always in awe whenever I see the latest that you've created. It's mind-blowing. And it's the right set of skills, too. The fact that you happen to be doing animatics. And I think you were using Blender for a corporate presentation or something like that.
I was just messing around with it, I think, for the most part, for my own stuff. I use Storyboard Pro for most of the animation stuff, but let's not tell my clients how fast I actually am. We'll keep that under wraps.
You got to stretch that out a little.
Yeah, whoa. Pretty slow.
But no, it's admirable, just given the amount of work that it takes to put this comic book together with. And the other thing you and I agreed upon was that, because we had seen augmented reality comics out there before. Marvel, we know, had done them, but for the most part, these so-called, I'm doing finger quotes, motion comics were novelty. You know, they were blinky lights, they were things moving, they were sound effects. You've actually fully animated things, extended things way past the panel. And this is all about storytelling. In fact, these are storytelling enhancements. You can read the comic on its own, but using the AR app, you can basically get a lot more. What other kind of bonus material is in there?
Yeah, it's mainly stuff that ties, like I said, there's that little Easter egg that ties into the other story, but a lot of it's like character stuff. So I think it just adds a lot to character dimensions to like have an extra sense, like with sound and then also movement and different things. Like there's some like silly gags that are kind of thrown in there that I won't spoil too much, but there's also like little things like there's the brownies that work in the pub, and you don't see, they're hidden in the pages, but you don't see them too much in the comic. But on some of the animations, it cuts right down to them, and they're doing stuff running around, and like, so it kind of builds out the world. I kind of like look at it like if you were to, if you bought like a behind the scenes kind of any, like this is the world of book or something of your favorite thing. It's kind of like that. Like it's expanding the story and the kind of that world that you're already reading about. So it's super fun. I love making stuff move on screen. I think it's a ton of work, but it's so fun. I think that's why people get hooked on it. But.
Well, I know I always cite this. There's a splash page, and having worked with a lot of different artists, and you don't want to ask too much of them. Often I give them sort of an out, right? So this was a full ancient battle scene, essentially. And you say, as a writer, you kind of say, give artists an out, saying, okay, as long as we get a sense that this is a big battlefield, things in silhouette, maybe some bodies in the background, maybe some people fighting. You drew on that splash page the whole background. And then not only that, because this gives the sense of the aftermath of the battle, which I was impressed with, because the fact that you did the full depth of field on that battlefield. When it came time to animate it, you actually, for the most part, gave a whole sense of scale to the actual battle itself, which again, incredible, mind-blowing, admirable.
It's kind of a good example, kind of, like when you pull up the app, it skips like a few seconds ahead of the actual like battle. So then you see some people die, I guess, and then it kind of goes into the battle. So that's about it.
But the fact that it enhances the story by actually sort of showing you, giving you the sense of scale of that battle. Not only did you give a sense of the scale of the aftermath as an added bonus to the folks that do use the app, they see more of the story. They're given more of the sense of what the battlefield was like. And again, I am your biggest fan, sir, and I salute you.
Then lastly, if anyone's interested, or they've already backed the comic as well. Like the cool thing about the app is I can update it, so we're gonna keep adding more
cool.
monster manual stuff, and then some, because not every single page is animated like fully, but I'm gonna be able to add, even if it's like monster manual stuff or whatever, I can still add that on later. So you'll just get an update to the app, and then it's more bang for your buck. Yeah.
And where can folks go to find out more about Ballyskillin and perhaps purchase Ballyskillin as well?
Just go to ballyskillin.com. Yeah, it's so go to BALLY. If it's a little weird for people, it's BALLYSKILLEN. So, ballyskillin.com. If it sounds a little weird, we kind of made up our own Irish town name, so we kind of mishmashed a few things together to make it work.
Yeah, we went through this whole list of Irish towns and had like the fronts and the backs, and then you actually were the one who ultimately came up with it. It's quite grown on me, actually. And if folks want to purchase it, they can go to raid.world, and it's available there for to buy online.
You can still pick it up.
Now that it's in our hands, and we're sending out the packages, they're in the store at the Raid online store, and they can buy it from there, or it's available for pickup in the cafe at Roncesvalles and Queen. So if you wanted to come in and buy a cup of coffee and an empanada, you can pick up your copy as well if you're in the Toronto area and want to go for a walk, shall we say. Don't defy the lockdown, but if you want to go for a stroll down the street and get a cup of coffee.
Right. All right, Andy. This is the segment that we like to call the process.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be asking you a few would you rather questions, and we're going to get a little bit of insight on your psyche, sir. So, number one, would you rather have a pause or rewind button in your life?
I'm gonna go pause, but I'm not cheating. I guess. I immediately started thinking about like skateboarding. Was my so like if I could pause mid trick, I could rewind to redo, but I think the pause might give me more time to like think about what's about to happen. I'm going pause.
Oh, to go pause? Okay. You're a skateboarder?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay. I just took it up late last year.
And we know you wish there was a pause, or just before you got concussed.
Well, no, I just would have been thinking about it longer.
That's true.
All right. Would you rather live on a desert island with your celebrity crush, or in a mansion with your ex?
Desert island.
Desert island it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to know who chooses the other one.
Who knows? Would you rather wear 1 or 7 colors every day?
I'm going 1. Yeah.
1. Okay. All right.
It's just simpler, I think. That sounds like a lot of planning.
7 colors, I know, right?
You can make it work. I think.
Would that color be green?
Green.
Maybe.
Wow. All right. Would you rather lose your keys or your phone?
Phone. I don't really care if it's fun. I hate the phone. I'm like this. I'm turning into the old curmudgeon.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's interesting. Would you rather date someone with bad breath or bad manners?
I feel like it's like always sunny in Philadelphia. It's good, like you have the bad tooth. You can't go away, right? I'm gonna go bad manners. So
bad manners.
Stuck with the bad breath.
Can't handle the bad breath. All right, fair enough. All right. Would you rather would you rather always have wet socks or have a small rock in your shoe?
Immediately when you said wet socks, I was like, that it doesn't even matter what the other thing would be. I was like,
it doesn't even matter.
I know. I did
be a cactus.
Yeah. I did a lot of tree planting and work in forestry way back in the day. So having wet feet all day, and then it rains at night, and then you have to put on wet boots the next day, and then you just got wet feet again. Like it's ingrained in my brain that I'm like,
oh my god,
I hate wet feet.
I just triggered Andy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think you. Well, he fights bears. Like
Andy fights bears.
True story.
Okay. All right.
Just yell at them.
So he doesn't worry about no rock in his shoe. He's fighting bears. All right. Would you rather have aliens be real and covered up by the government, or have no extraterrestrial life at all in the universe?
Yeah, it'd be cool if they're real. Yeah, real and covered up.
Yeah, everybody wants aliens.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Would you rather? Okay. Would you rather wear clothes that were always way too big, or a couple of sizes too small?
I think that's more of like depending on what stage of life you're at. Like if you're young and ripped, then you go small, right? If I'm in shape, it's like what am I doing?
You could have one of those 80s crop tops.
Yeah.
All right. Second to last one. Would you rather have a tattoo of the title of the last book you read, or the last TV show you watched?
I gotta think now. It's the last book I just read. Does listening to Audible count? Is that?
Yeah, that counts.
I think it's the one I was just reading. There's actually a band called Japanese Breakfast, and like it blows my mind. She's a super successful band, but she just wrote a book that's like on the New York Times bestseller. It says "Crying in H Mart." That's what my tattoo. My tattoo would be "Crying in H Mart."
Actually, that'd be pretty cool.
I'll go with that.
All right, final question. What is your favorite version of Dracula?
See, I think I have a soft spot for the '90s version.
The Coppola version?
The Coppola, yeah, the Coppola.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know it's like I don't,
With
but I
Gary
don't.
Oldman.
I really only I don't have a soft spot for Gary Oldman though. I think it's like only the beginning with the armor, the cool red like muscle.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
But I think I don't know. I might just have to go Bela Lugosi.
I've seen that Dracula armor, eh? It's on display at Coppola's Winery in Napa Valley.
Bella.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
I think I might have to go. Yeah, I think like really when it came down to it, I'd do Lugosi. I think.
Yeah, that armor is badass.
Is it the hair? Is it the hair?
It's the whole look. I think it's like ingrained. Yeah, it's like when it's just like in your brain. Because I find like everyone's just not everyone, but for a certain generation, like even in what is it, the Monster Squad? Like everyone's just trying to rip off that look, and they're trying to emulate it, right? So like it's what comes to my head.
It is a classic.
You try to fight it, but yeah.
It is a classic.
Even better than the Coppola film, though, Mike Mignola for Topps Comics, the short-lived Topps Comics, did an awesome adaptation of that movie, and I think I even like that comics version better than the movie.
Oh, cool!
Especially the armor, the way Mignola depicts that armor.
Yeah, it is very cool. It's very cool.
The very beginning of that, just when I think it's genius. Just the part when he freaks out and stabs the cross or whatever, and all the blood and stuff. Like if you just stop watching there, it's like that's enough.
They took some liberties, but they definitely worked. You know, it's almost made its own type of mythology. It was really cool. Well, Andrew, I'm really thrilled that you're on Dracula Visions. I think you're going to kill it. I think we've got the right person. You're a monster guy. I think we're all monster guys. Monster guys. Yeah. Monster bros. We're all monster bros. This is live, guys. Yeah, so I do think we got the right person in Andy, and I think he's going to absolutely destroy his piece for Dracula Visions, and I cannot wait to see it. I did get a bit of a sneak peek. Actually, maybe should we do it?
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
Share.
So you know what? We haven't done this yet. We haven't given any sneak peeks, but this is very, very obviously very roughs. Andy, I'll let you talk to it, but I think he's just thinking about the composition of what he wants to do. So let's put it up here. Okay. All right. So
I'm using the really old school, like the pens the different colors that spin back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm using for this. But so I'm just trying to. I won't reveal the exact quote, but I'm trying to lay out the exact. Yeah, I'm trying to find the composition, what I'm going to do with everything, and where's the shadows, and how is things going to actually work.
Right.
This one I like the idea of this, but then for any art people, like the bottom left, it's not balancing right. There's too much stuff's hanging at the top, so I might rework something like this, but I'm gonna see how that goes.
And then we have so these are like 3 ideas currently, but you haven't landed on any one of these.
I haven't quite landed. I'm gonna probably like almost 99% of the time it'll be like a mishmash of a few of them. I drew about 15 of these that I just didn't send them all to you. So there'll be a big mishmash of all the stuff going on here. But this one I was messing around with having maybe a composition that worked right side up and then some of the reverse image.
That's cool.
On the bottom. So and then really just highlighting something in kind of more center frame, but playing with I was looking, but I'm definitely gonna do either way. I'm gonna do it is like I'm gonna go crazy with Victorian buildings. from that time. So I was already looking up a ton of reference. So I just love, like, naturally there's like smoke from some industrial stuff that a little bit that they had, or steam or whatever was going on, I guess coal.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can really use that a lot. But this one was maybe working for me. So
I like this. Yeah, I like
yeah.
all of them. This is really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, an ominous scene for sure.
Yeah.
Something's going on up here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right
So,
on. All
yeah.
right. So quick sneak peek. And if you do sign up for the mailing list, we'll be able to throw some more sneak peeks of some of the early work, some of the roughs, some of the more information that we're doing. There's going to be a lot of other items that we're doing. I'm very excited that I could also announce I'm going to be working with Paul Kemp and some of his team on some 3D modeling of some of the art. So that will be available sort of like as tangible busts that you'll be able to also buy as a part of
Awesome.
the Kickstarter and stuff like that. Yeah. So we've got a lot of plans coming and a lot of good stuff coming for Dracula Visions.
Paul Kemp's students are amazing. They invited me to, I guess, attend a couple of their virtual classrooms, and their work is mind blowing. Very talented over at Mohawk College. So and Paul's obviously a great teacher.
Yeah, I cannot wait to work with them on some of this stuff. And again, thank you, Andy, and thank you, Sam. Cheers. Until next week. Toodles, everyone. Take care.
Stay safe. Don't let vampires